Welcome to the WOD Pod. Join me as I sit down with CrossFitters, fitness experts, top coaches, professional athletes, and other well-known gym goers to listen to their journey through fitness. Episode 10 is a big one, mainly because he's a 6'5" ex-sprinter, ex-England basketballer who's now playing second row for Rotherham Titans. I sat down with John Okafor to discuss his rugby career so far, the reality about pro and semi-pro rugby, and his time on the ITV show Ready to Mingle. Right, John, welcome to the WOD Pod. We are now halfway through Series 1. We're on episode number 10.
Wheel ups. Hello, guys. I'm pleased to be here.
Long time no see. What a good way to catch up. You know,
Yeah.
we're going to catch up over a beer, but we can do it over a podcast. So probably won't mention everything, but
No.
This episode is going to be heavily featuring rugby,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
But before we come on to your rugby career, let's go back into your personal life. Where did you grow up?
Yeah.
What school were you at? Things like that.
Perfect.
Give me a little rundown.
I'll keep this brief, and you can just choose which bits you want to touch up on. So, I grew up in London, Clapham, and I lived there all the way up until I was 16. Picked up rugby when I was around 13, 14. At that time, I was like a tri-sport, quad sport athlete. So I've always done sports. So I've been in the football academy, done athletics at county district level, done tennis to a county level, and played basketball for England. So I was a really sporty kid growing up, and I always knew I was going to be involved in sport. Like, you just know, like sports for me. And rugby really just sort of took off in my mid-teens. Joined an academy, got offered a rugby scholarship to go to Wellington College, which is a private boarding school, and it was a completely fantastic experience. There for 2 years, sat my A-levels, and when I finished, got offered a full-time contract at Harlequins. Did that for a year, and it's a classic story of tore my knee ligament, did my MCL about 4 weeks after making my first team debut. So I played for the first team, and I'm on top of the mountain, and I can still remember the day to a T. It's one of the moments in your life you're never gonna forget. I'm gonna be 90 and I can remember it like it happened yesterday. And honestly, I was on top of the world. Then I was getting ready for a reserve team game, get dropped in a line out, tear my MCL, keeps me out for about 3.5 months. And during my injury period, they told me that I'm not getting a contract renewal. Then I sort of reassessed my options. I was 19 at the time, and there was a bit like, my agent was like, I've got a couple of opportunities. This uni wants to give you a full scholarship. And I was like, you know what? At some point, I'm going to have to sort of have a second career. I'm not an idiot. Why not take the 3 degree whilst I'm sort of finding my rugby feet again and play at a real high level and get myself out there, which I did. Done economics and finance at Leeds Beckett, graduated, and now I play semi-professionally in the national leagues, and I'm enjoying life. Life's good
And
to me.
podcast over.
And podcast over. That's it.
I'm joking. Have you always been a unit?
So when I was younger, because I did football, basketball, tennis, and athletics, I was quite slim. I was tall.
When you said basketball, I thought, first of all, I gave you a jersey, and it just happened to be
A basketball
jersey. But so when you say basketball, you obviously always been tall.
Yeah, so I've always been tall, but I was always slim. And so I was into football, basketball, tennis. So you got to be quite agile. So I was an athletic kid, but I was a bit of a beanstalk. I think most kids are who are tall. Then when I got into rugby, and especially when I sort of went into boarding school where I was getting proper training in the gym and getting really good nutrition, I was really fortunate that they had really good catering there for me. All of a sudden, 15, 16, 17, 18, puberty hit me as like steroids, basically. I always say that, and I just blew up. And I can remember over a 3-year period, my whole body composition had changed. I had broad shoulders, my voice got deeper, I was stronger in the gym. I can sort of remember when I was benching 100 reps 100 kilos on the bench for reps fairly comfortably, and it was just wow, like what the hell's going on?
I mean, that's ideal for rugby.
Yeah.
Like, all that
Yeah.
size, strength, that's what you want. So
Yeah.
that's probably why rugby suited you at that age as
Yeah.
well. And I'm surprised that deck chair's not broken, to be honest. How much you weighing?
I'm sitting around 117 kilos, so 17, 18 stone.
Yeah, nice.
And yeah, my playing weight when I'm like properly like playing, because we're just coming up back to the end of pre-season, I probably get that. I usually play around between 112 to 115. So there's a mini cut on the horizon.
And so you said you went to Leeds Uni.
Yeah.
You still in Leeds now?
Yeah. I can't let Yorkshire go as a son from the Southerner. And yeah, you just kind of 1 year becomes 3 becomes 5 very quickly, and before you know it, it's like I'm settled here. Doesn't mean I can't see myself moving, but it's going to take something special to get me out of here. Like, Yorkshire's great.
Yorkshire's good, yeah.
Yeah.
At least someone. I mean, most people from London say it's shit. So.
No.
I
Like,
think you've got to live here for a bit to
yeah,
understand
exactly.
it.
Like when I came up from London, I was just like, oh, what's going on, man? Yorkshire. Everyone's all Northerners, but as you settle in, it's like actually like
Quite good.
Yeah,
Good
Yorkshire
crack.
people are nicer than Londoners.
And career-wise, what have you
Yeah.
done? So since Harlequins, obviously you took the scholarship at Leeds.
Yeah,
Since you finished uni.
yeah,
Talk me through your career.
yeah. So
what you've been doing.
finished uni, and the full-time deal that I thought I was gonna get didn't materialize. Probably get into it. Probably took some bad advice. Got screwed over and sort of like some key times, and ended up going sort of part-time in the national leagues, and also like juggle a 9 to 5, work in recruitment. Who doesn't these days?
Yep.
And it's been sort of juggling that with my sort of aspirations to play at a high level that I know I can and I want to. So it's a bit like I know I'm good enough to play up and be a full-time rugby player, but it's more of like I'm going to have to go around the long way sort of thing. So yeah.
There's always that risk, isn't there? Well, there's always that. First of all, there's that big, like, category of people that are semi-pro, still working, still haven't made it as pro, but are in that limbo.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm close to going pro, but I still have to have a career in case I'm not.
Yeah.
It's like a real, you're on the edge.
Yeah. And there's a book, I can't remember the player that talks about it, and it's called Fringe, and it really explores the sort of idea of being you're not an out and out 50 cap England international, and like you're just constantly fighting for contracts. You don't really know if I'm going to get a contract renewal next year, and you just got a crop of players who are just in this weird purgatory zone of part-time, wanting to play higher, but for whatever reason they're waiting for the opportunity, so they're like having a full-time job alongside it, and you gotta be dedicated to your craft to do that. And it's a testament more to those players because you're taking a massive gamble, and at any moment you can get that call, and all of a sudden a Premiership club, you might live in, I can only speak for myself, but you might live in Leeds, a Premiership club in Gloucester is calling you and they're saying, yeah, they want to give you a 2-year deal. Are you ready to sort of put your life on hold that you've been building in the north?
Up sticks.
Up
yeah.
sticks.
What are you then sacrificing? Relationship, friends,
and
all that is going out the window.
Exactly, and it's something that has taken a massive toll on my sort of personal life because I invest so much time into my rugby that sort of relationships, romantically, platonically, whatever, has taken a big hit, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, are you ready to sort of up sticks and leave everything behind? And it's if you got wife, kids, long-term partner, it's not that easy. It's just, right, we're going to Gloucester tomorrow.
I was on holiday in Marbella and I was by the pool and I was chatting to Finn Russell.
Yeah.
And he was saying he's just left Racing 92 in Paris.
Yeah.
And they've gone back to Bath. But he said, trying to get my wife, who's French, or I think she's like, I don't know, half English.
Yeah.
Maybe like Scottish or French, I don't know. But he was like trying to convince her to leave their life in Paris to go to Bath was like not fun, not easy.
Yeah.
So you've got all that. So at any stage, you can just go, right, you move country.
Yeah. And like Finn Russell is a bloke who is going to get paid £1 million a season for 2 seasons in Bath, and he's still having that conversation.
So imagine when you're trying to convince your girlfriend of a year to relocate.
Upsticks, and like, what? How much are you going to get paid? Like, I don't know, like 60 grand. It's like, she's going to look at you like, what? We have a life here.
Yeah. So it's even harder. Rugby versus football. So, like we were chatting off camera, but we're saying like football makes it so much harder for every other sport because people get the perception that a footballer could play at League 2 or conference and still get paid a good salary.
Yeah.
Any other sport, unless you are at the top of your game in the top league, you're gonna have to have another job.
Yeah, and rugby is falling into the trap of trying to be like football. You probably hear all the teams have just sort of like gone bust in the last like 12 months because they're living beyond their means. They think they're footballers. Rugby players want the big contracts, so you've got this weird like fight where like the clubs really shouldn't be paying the players how much they want.
Yeah,
but like the players are putting their bodies on the line and they're going to wear the scars for the next 40 years.
Yep.
So they want as much money as possible. And I think that the media's done like a really nasty job of like painting professional sports like football.
Yep.
Football's the exception, not the rule. Like Premiership all the way to like conference, boys are on like big bucks. Going from full-time rugby to part-time where you have to find a job, a new house, it's completely different.
Completely different. Yep. This podcast we've got a new sponsor, built for athletes. I showed you. Have you seen them? The gym bags.
No, go on. Let's have a look.
So, first of all, what's your current brand of gym bag?
I just have my rugby club's bag, and that's my all-in-one sports gym everything. So I don't have a out-and-out gym bag.
Okay. So, built for athletes. They're like the most ultimate gym bag. Right. So it's like, I don't know, they have everything. I'll put on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, on YouTube, I'm going to be putting up a little image or like a little thing of the bags showing you everything they've got. This is the older version in the camo, but it's like pretty massive and epic. And
that is a practical bag.
It's pretty good.
That is a very, very...
It's now your bag, John, by the way, because you can't have a shitty gym. You can't not have a gym bag.
Nah, I don't. Yeah,
when you bench 100 kilo for reps, you need a decent gym bag.
Perfect.
But yeah, so this is going to be a reel on Instagram. This is now going to be a Built for Athletes giveaway, so people can also win one of these. Perfect. All they're doing is they're liking, commenting someone that would also like this bag. I'm going to pick some winners. Okay. So yeah, just tag some mates in the giveaway, and then we'll pick one out, and they'll win the brand new Pro Series bag. So this is you've got like second hand goods.
I've got like the 22 plate and the 23 plates coming out.
Still better than nothing.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, we're going to have to talk about John's TV fame now.
Oh, God. I get this every time. I've had this in so many places.
Ready to mingle?
Okay. What do you want to know?
Did you enjoy the show?
Yes. I think I look back in it. God, when was that? 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, 2 summers ago. And I will keep saying this. As an experience, I wouldn't change it for what it was. Just what you learn about yourself, high pressure environment. Your camera's on 24 hours a day, lights are bright, national television, 9 o'clock ITV, doesn't get any more high pressure than that really for most people. And for what it was, it's an experience I wouldn't change.
What was the best thing about the show?
The best thing about the show.
Or what's your best memory of the show?
Do you know what my best memory was? Was I had all my friends from all over the country basically come to my flat. I had a massive flat party, 40 deep, and it was just crazy just to see the amount of love and support people had.
Is that after the show, you mean?
After the show. So that was my best thing. It's after the show, that was for me.
But it's still part of it, wasn't it?
Part of the show. Yeah. So I bracket in that sort of general experience. And just to have so many people just show out for me like that.
Do you not think that's because they were like, John's getting famous, we want to get some free...
No, you say that, like, you can think about it one of two ways. Like, the pessimist in me is like, well, this is a sort of clout thing. But to get people just to travel...
Yeah,
like,
it's still cool.
It's still cool. And it's like, for whatever it was, 15 minutes of fame or whatever it was just like, yeah, it's just good. You just don't really know how many people are actually rooting for you until, something's
until
happening.
you turn up and see them all.
Yeah.
Did you think... Was the show as you expected?
No, I think when people say this, Love Island and everyone that's done reality TV in the past is, well, TV isn't scripted, it isn't, but they would prompt conversation. They'd be like, oh, what did you think about that? I think you should go over and say that. So they wouldn't tell you what to say, but they would encourage certain conversations.
I suppose if you're like a director, though, you know what's going to make good TV.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all they're doing is they're just trying to create the either most dramatic scenario or which I guess I think I'd probably expect that.
You expect
anyway.
it. Yeah, you'd expect it, but I think once you're in there and you understand it and you're living it, you're like, okay, so this is how like Love Island works, and it completely like changed my perception of how I see reality TV, or just TV in general.
So now when you watch a reality TV show, you're just like, he won't have thought that.
Yeah,
that's been pushed into his mind by a
I can
director.
sort of like pick out which bits have been encouraged straight away. I can tell you that straight away. Yeah,
or they've been repeated again, or just say it differently.
Yeah, exactly. You can tell straight away now.
Yeah,
and it's like a 6, 7. Like, that's director influence chat.
Would you go on another reality TV show again?
Reality TV show, no, but I did turn down an opportunity to go on Gladiators.
No.
Earlier this year, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And
do you regret that?
No, but
next you've got to get on the next series, please.
It's out in September. It's out next month, actually, depending on when this podcast comes out. So it could be out now. And I'm definitely gonna have a watch and put one out. I think it's gonna be on BBC on Saturday nights.
You've got to do it next series.
I still got the producer's number, so I'll watch the first episode. If it's like
if you choose not to do it next year,
you're gonna
give me the number. I put a fake post out. I did like a troll.
Yeah,
post.
I've seen that.
Speed the Gladiator, Speedy Seedy. But anyway. If you choose not to do it, I'm in.
Yeah.
Right, let's talk rugby. So, you discussed, like, you mentioned what sports you played prior to rugby. When you played rugby at what, 13?
14,
yeah. And then was that school rugby?
Full school, yeah.
Yeah. And when you first played it, were you like instantly in love with it, or did it take a while for you to think this is maybe...
It's just another sport to me. I just love sport.
Yep.
And it was different just sort of playing a contact sport. Like football's a contact sport, but nowhere not a contact sport when you compare it to rugby. And it wasn't necessarily me that needed convincing, it was my parents.
Right.
Because like they don't really... I come from a background where like rugby just wasn't really a thing. And they're like, you're going to get hurt, you're going to get injured, this, that, the third. And I remember like my first school game, I'd been training for about 3 weeks, and the PE teacher was like, you're pretty good, relatively speaking, for someone. And I pick up sport quite quickly. Yeah. And they gave me the permission slip. I don't know if they still do that at schools, to take to my parents to go and sign. My dad was like, you're not playing. I was like, all right. Like, I wasn't really that asked in the end. And I went to the PE teacher, said, oh, my dad can't go. And my PE teacher called my dad and said, your son's really good. Like, trust me, he's not going to get injured. It's whatever. End up going, and I had to borrow my PE teacher's football boots to play my first game of rugby. I always remember Mr. Henry, man. He was a cool guy. And
he lent you his boots. Like that's like dedication there.
Irish bloke, man.
Also, just processing that means a fully grown man lent a 13-year-old.
Yeah,
that's how big your feet were at 13.
I was size 11 at the time.
Okay, and what was your like first really good memory of school rugby?
My first good memory of school rugby was
like, when did you think, okay, shit, I'm good at this? Like first game or?
First game, yeah, I scored my first game, but it was probably when I started playing county level, my first county game, and that's when the Harlequins scouts were there. Then they came over, tapped me on the shoulder, and we had a chat. And we said, "Look, you got something here.
Yep.
We want to work with you. Like, you're raw, but you got stuff that we can't teach. You know, you're quick.
Yep.
You know, you're aggressive. You move quickly, all that sort of stuff." So that was when I knew, okay, I've got something here.
Did you always play in the forwards?
I started off in the centres, then number 8, then second row, back row. So I've played backs and forwards.
Because when we did that sprint challenge, I didn't think you'd be as quick as you were.
Yeah.
I was like, you're a second row. Like I've always got a second row.
Yeah,
and
everyone says
like,
that.
Oh.
Everybody says that. Then I get going. It's like,
he's a centre.
Yeah. Could tell. That's my sprinting background.
Yeah.
I used to do. Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah. So you did sprinting.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
athletics.
Yeah, 1 and 200 meters and triple jump.
So I bet that comes in quite good in a game of rugby. Like when you catch it in the line out and you break through, boom, you're through.
I'm off. Yeah.
What was your most memorable try to date?
Oh, my most memorable. Okay, so varsity scoring against Leeds Uni, 12,000 people, running for about 40 meters. Yeah.
Nice.
That was sick.
Was it a breakthrough or was it just
Clean
handing?
break.
Oh, nice.
Clean, like full sprint. I still have that video somewhere on my phone.
And that's when you've got the whole crowd as
Whole
well.
crowd's going nuts.
It's a full 12 seconds of
wave
sprint.
of noise.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, it's one of them things you just, again, I will never not forget that. There's just no way I'm going to forget that. Like, that's a double negative. Yeah. That's double negative. No, there's no.
You're not forgetting that.
I'm never forgetting that. Not a chance.
And goals for this season?
Goals for this season.
Or next season? Where are we at?
We're about to start the season. We're about to start the season. So this season.
Oh, in fact, run through where you're playing.
Rotherham Titans, so South Yorkshire. I do not live in Rotherham, fortunately. Unfortunately, no disrespect to Rotherham, but yeah.
You're living in Leeds.
Live in Leeds. And Skulls, we're trying to get promoted. The team's gone with they've gone heavy in the sort of win now mentality. They want to get promoted. They've brought me in to sort of help them on that journey. So we're trying to get promoted, and yeah, I think that'll be it.
Is it league below Leeds Tykes?
Same league
as Leeds Tykes.
Yeah.
So you'll play because you were at Leeds Tykes. You're going to play them.
Yeah, we play them 29th of November, first game. Yeah. First
game as well.
Yeah, first that'll be like the first meeting. That's the first.
Okay, the first time you'll play them.
First, 29. It's away at my former club's gaff, so it'll be interesting. To see what sort of reception I get.
I'll be good. I might come watch actually.
Yeah, I should come down though. It's
29th of November.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm coming actually. It's going to be fun. I hope you don't lose
No.
That'll be painful, but we'll go for beers after. What do you think it takes to go from being semi-pro to pro?
I think you got to back yourself, and you're gonna have to bet on yourself. That's the toughest thing, and you got to remain strict on what you want to do. I think once you've transitioned out of being full time, I was quite fortunate. I was in a uni environment that ran like a full time setup, so it kept me fairly strict and disciplined. Yeah. Now I've transitioned into a young professional environment on top of trying to do the sport. It's still you got to still have that ability to say no to midweek beers, still hit your gym, still go for that run after work. That's the tough bit. That's when you really know how hungry you really are. So it is, you got to stay, it's a cliche, you have to stay dedicated to your craft even whilst you're sort of doing that 9 to 5.
Are you saying you're sticking to that?
Yeah, I'm still I've got to bet on myself.
Yeah, 100%.
It's one life. If not, what you're meant to do.
Yeah, and how much luck would you say is involved to go pro?
I think there
has to be some, because you could have 10 rugby players all the same standard. Someone just gets that break. At that time.
And I think the last 18 months have shown me how much luck you need. Took some bad advice when I was speaking to championship clubs when I was finishing uni.
Yep.
And in hindsight, knowing what I know now and the mentality I have now, I kind of should have just told them to do one and done what I thought was best for myself.
Yeah. But I suppose that's, if that hadn't happened, if that happens again and you get the opportunity, you're doing it.
Yeah.
So I guess you just learn from these things.
You learn from these things.
You just move forward.
Yeah, I was doing nice guy, professional, and kind of bit me on the arse in the end.
Yeah.
So my biggest advice: do what you need to do to get to the end destination.
Be more selfish, probably.
Yeah, it's not pretty. Sometimes it won't be pretty. You can't please everybody.
Yeah. Currently, are you getting bigger or leaner or?
I kind of want to stay lean to maintain. Actually,
so you're maintaining.
Yeah, I've got no.
I guess with rugby, it doesn't really matter too much.
Yeah,
it's just you want to find that balance of.
Yeah,
you want to be as quick as possible, but also
biggest, powerful.
When I tackle someone, it wants to hurt.
Yeah, and there's also a part of me that kind of wants to stay kind of aesthetic. Like,
there is that as well.
Yeah, like I'm a tall guy. I've got broad shoulders and narrowish hips, relatively speaking. So I want to keep that sort of tape I've got going on because it's good. It's good.
I do look at some of the England forwards and think, are you really a professional rugby player? Like,
yeah, that's the thing. To the casual eye, you wouldn't know.
You think like, what how much are you eating and drinking and not going to the gym to be out of shape or so out of shape? I get when you're a prop, it's part different. Of that role because you're literally scrimmaging and you need the weight behind you.
Yeah, it's different. I think what makes fitness, especially when we talk about CrossFit and performance sports, you just have to be good for your sport.
Yeah.
Even though you don't look good, like look at that. Tom Brady's a perfect example of that. He couldn't run to save his life, but when it comes to performance, he was built to throw that American football 80 yards. He can throw a ball in places people can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And that'll be the same for a rugby player. They can generate levels of power that a bodybuilder just couldn't do. Relatively speaking.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And talk me through your, before a game, night before, do you have any, rituals, sort of, what you do? If you're, if you know it's game day, is it, I don't know.
I'm quite laid back until about 2 hours before the game.
On the morning?
On the morning, before the game, or I kind of would try and stay away from sex.
That's going to be an Insta-reel.
Yeah, I would try and stay.
But you don't do a very good job.
No, I had a girlfriend at the time, and
what you were like? It's game day tomorrow.
Yeah,
shit.
And that went out the window with her when I scored the next game. I was like, right, this doesn't work. But
all that time you'd been not having sex, and you were like, it's helping me, and then you go and have sex and score and think,
fuck, this is just me.
Fuck this.
But
what do you eat on the morning of game day? What's your breakfast?
High carbs, man. I go with sort of high carbs, good fats. One thing for me is I hate feeling bloated or full during sports. I can't do it. Some people like a big meal before games. Honestly, I like to feel not empty, but I like to feel light. My personal preference is that I like to feel light. I like to feel like I can move. Especially
if you're going to catch the ball and sprint, you just don't want to be full, do you?
Yeah, I don't really, when you get that sort of reflux where you can taste your breakfast, I don't want none of that. Yeah. I hate that.
So, in the previous episode, a guy called Cam, you actually watched the hot tub episode.
Yes, I did.
So, I asked him for a question off camera to ask the next guest, which is you. And he said, what did you have for tea last night?
What did I have for tea? Oh my God, this is going to sound terrible, but...
So was last night's meal weird?
No, I had a takeaway because I got back from Guernsey. Now, it needs context because I had a pre-season game in Guernsey over the weekend and I got back and all the shops were closed. And I spent the whole of Sunday travelling, so I barely eaten. I was like, I have room in my calorie count for this takeaway.
What was it?
I had a chicken burger and chips.
And?
A fizzy drink.
Nice. Full fat Coke.
No. Yeah. So, no, I had a Rubicon mango.
Okay.
I had a Rubicon mango. And
chips.
and chicken wing. And I was just like, right, I have room in my calorie count to eat this. I wouldn't eat this, but it's Sunday.
And it's after a game as well.
After a game.
Yeah. Allow it.
Yeah, I can allow it. This is not my regular day-to-day meal. So, yeah.
That's you on a good day then. Right, we're going to finish with some rapid fire questions.
All right.
Favorite brand of boots?
Nike. No, I'm lying. Adidas. I'm lying. Adidas.
Where did Nike come from? I would have said Nike as well.
Yeah, I know, because I grew up as a kid liking Nike boots, but Adidas boots are really cool.
And that's what you play in?
Yeah.
What's your biggest win margin in a game?
80 odd points.
Against?
Cardiff Uni.
Nice. We don't like the Welsh.
Don't like the Welsh. Respectfully, we don't.
What's your Nando's order?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. I want to get this right. So starter is halloumi sticks and dips, 4 wings. Then I'm getting peri tama, 4 chicken fries.
What spice?
Peri tama. That's like Nando's barbecue.
Ah, okay.
And peri salt chips coleslaw. Nice.
Pretty similar, actually. What's the best gym you've been to in the UK?
Ooh, Ultraflex. The Ultraflexes.
Any of them?
The Ultraflexes. If you're ever in the
so
north,
good, aren't they?
Yeah, if you're ever in the north and you've got some time to gym, just find the nearest Ultraflex to you. And
the new one, North Leeds.
It's really good.
It's got like ice bath.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sauna,
it's absolutely
barbers.
Good. Yeah, that geezer, like, I think he opened the first one in I think the first one was opened in Leeds.
The Farley one.
Yeah. And yeah, he's absolutely killing it. I think they're trying to get into Manchester, and the influencers in Manchester are going to love them.
Yep. What's the best country you've been to?
Morocco.
Nice.
Went to Marrakesh. Really good. Really, really good.
Favourite genre of music?
Ooh, rap. But I'm flexible.
Pre-game. Okay, you're in the changing room.
It's got to be rap. I gotta get the hype, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the best podcast you've been on?
Oh, the Wad Pod.
Yes, come on. Okay, and one thing that people won't know about you that's weird or interesting.
One thing. Oh, it's between I'm left-handed and I can't swim. Yeah, it'd be one of those two. Yeah.
You're left-handed?
Yeah, I'm a
Does that mean you kick?
Kick left.
Of course,
right,
yeah.
left.
We did the kicking challenge.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I'm left side dominant. I can't right, can't kick, cannot do anything on the right apart from use right-handed scissors. Because and I can pass better off my right hand as well. But
better or worse?
Better, because I was taught to pass off my right first. Because everyone else.
So you kick off your left and pass off your right.
Yeah, but
that's pretty weird.
Yeah, because
that's the one.
When you're growing up, you're just taught how to pass off.
And that's how it is.
That's how it is. Yeah.
Where can people find you? Social media.
John Okafor _ on X. That's why it's not called Twitter anymore.
Oh yeah, X.
You're gonna call it X. Like Elon Musk. Crazy.
You on Threads? I
am not on Threads.
So Insta and X.
And X, both John Okafor _
And if you want to go back and watch some of John on Ready to Mingle, feel free.
ITVX.com. Yeah, the box set is still there if you want to see what I'm like. Grafting on camera, grafting on girls. Yeah.
Very good. Cool. That wraps up the episode. I'm going to ask you for your question for the next guest off air. Okay. But yeah, thanks for joining me.
Perfect.
Wrap it up there. How long was that?
33 minutes.
Boom.
Oh, you're really good at it.
Yeah, we're good, aren't we?
I hope you enjoyed that episode, and a huge thank you for listening. Make sure you're following the pod on Instagram at the.wad.pod, our Twitter at the_wad_pod. The podcast is sponsored by Wad Powders. That's at Wad Powders on Instagram. Please show some support to the pod by either sharing this episode with a mate or buying some supplements from wadpowders.co.uk. See you guys next week.